welcome. Today we're strapping in to explore how artificial intelligence is, well, completely changing the way we make and even listen to music.
It really is.
Our mission here is to break down this monumental shift, how machines went from playing these simple little beeps and boops to composing complex scores that sound entirely human.
And that jump is really the core concept we need to get our heads around. We're not talking about computers just hitting random keys.
Right.
It's way more sophisticated. And it's important to clarify right at the start. AI doesn't feel emotions. It doesn't get sad or joyful.
The heartbreak.
No heartbreak. But it is incredibly good at understanding the mathematical logic, the structure, and the patterns behind a catchy tune. That's what allows it to learn.
Okay, so let's unpack that because there's partnership between music and machines. It actually started decades ago, long before the internet or streaming.
Oh, way back. We're talking about these huge, clunky computers.
Exactly. And back then, scientists weren't trying to write hit songs. They were just looking for ways to digitize the rules of music theory.
Exactly. They were programming basic mathematical patterns, things like scales, rhythm, harmonic rules into these systems.
So teaching it the language of music.
That's a great way to put it. They were teaching it how to write notes on a score, just like a human does. It was slow, it was limited, but that early work, it laid the entire foundation for today.
And as technology just sped up, we moved way beyond inputting simple rules.
Yeah.
The key difference today is just scale.
The scale is staggering.
Modern AI systems don't just follow a few rules. They can process and analyze millions of songs in, a few seconds?
It's almost instant. Think of it like this. Instead of a computer being handed a small sheet of music theory, it's instantly digesting pretty much the entirety of musical history.
Wow.
Every chord change, every rhythm, from classical to pop to, underground rap.
So how does the AI actually turn that massive history lesson into a new song? I know it learns through something called machine learning.
It does, and that just involves studying a massive database of existing music, and not just once, but over and over. It's looking for these statistical patterns that are so subtle, a human composer might not even realize they're following them.
And developers use something called neural networks for this, right?
They do. The easiest way to think of a neural network is like a digital web, sort of mimicking how a human brain makes connections. When the AI analyzes a piece of music, it looks at the notes and then it predicts which note should come next.
That's the critical part, the prediction. But how does it know if it made a good prediction?
It's all about feedback. The system tries a sequence and then it kind of scores itself. Did that note fit the genre? Did it sound good or bad?
Okay.
And this constant loop of prediction, feedback, and adjustment is how it gets better and better, eventually becoming skilled enough to imitate specific genres, like smooth jazz or complex classical music.
So once the AI knows the rules and has mastered the patterns, the fun starts, building the song itself. For most of us, the first thing we notice in a song is the melody, right?
The part you hum.
The part you hum. So the AI uses algorithms to make sure those notes flow logically. It's basically calculating the probability of a note sounding good right after the one before it.
And if the melody is the path, then the harmonies are like the landscape around it.
The chords.
Exactly, the chords that give the song depth and feeling. The computer calculates which chord combinations sound best with that melody. And what's fascinating here is the sheer speed of it.
You mentioned speed. Can you give us an example?
Sure, a human composer might spend an hour trying out, 3 or 4 different chord progressions.
Right, to find the perfect fit.
An AI can analyze thousands of combinations in less than a second. It understands the rules, but it can also introduce slight variations if the music gets too repetitive.
So it knows when to shake things up a bit.
It does. It's programmed to notice, okay, that sounds too much like the last 16 bars. Let's try an unexpected minor chord here.
Okay, so it handles the notes, the chords. But music isn't just notes on a page, it's sound. And that's where sound synthesis comes in.
Creating sounds from scratch.
So what's the AI doing to make those digital sounds actually convincing?
This is where we get into the physics of it. To mimic a real instrument, like a piano, the AI first analyzes how that sound is created, how a string vibrates, how the sound reflects off the wood.
The decay of the note.
All of it.
Yeah.
And then it creates a digital recipe to replicate that.
That must take immense processing power.
It does. But the utility is phenomenal. AI can blend 2 totally different sounds together, say a flute and an electric bass, to create a hybrid tone that's never existed before.
And on the production side?
It helps sound engineers get really clean recordings. It can identify and remove that subtle background noise, the faint hiss from old equipment or a microphone bump.
I heard that AI can even digitally recreate the acoustic feel of a famous concert hall. Is that true?
Absolutely. Think about the sound of a song recorded in a huge stone hall versus a small studio. The AI analyzes how sound waves bounce in that specific space and applies that effect, that reverb, to a digital track.
So you can record in your bedroom and make it sound like you're at Carnegie Hall.
That's the idea. It's making high-quality audio accessible to everyone.
And beyond the instruments, AI is proving to be a pretty brilliant assistant in the studio, especially with songwriting. We hear a lot about large language models or LLMs,
Right, for writing essays and things.
but they're also being used for lyrics.
They are. A songwriter can come in with a prompt, a theme like nostalgia for summer, and the LLM can generate verses, chorus ideas just to get the process started.
But it's not just spitting out random rhyming words, is it?
No, that's the power of the model. It's studied millions of poems and songs to understand complex structures like rhyme schemes and metaphors. It can even suggest where a bridge should go for the most emotional impact.
That's amazing.
But, and this is the crucial part, the human artist is always the editor. They choose the best lines and make sure the final product is authentic.
And for producers, the efficiency must be huge. I mean, they're using these tools to save tons of time on repetitive tasks, right?
For sure. Like balancing the volume levels of all the instruments, the drums, bass, vocals, that used to take an engineer hours of painstaking manual work.
Moving all the little sliders up and down.
Exactly. Now, some software can do a professional grade mix automatically right out of the gate, and that frees up the human producer to focus on the really creative stuff.
If we connect that to the big picture, these tools are really democratizing music creation.
Yeah.
What other tools are making production more accessible?
Oh, there are so many. AI can analyze a melody you've already recorded and suggest chord progressions that would fit. Or, for remixing, it can do something called source separation.
What's that?
It takes a finished song and separates it back into its individual tracks, vocals, drums, bass.
No way.
Yeah, so you can easily remix old material. And of course, pitch correction software uses AI to fix missed notes seamlessly. These tools act like a smart, tireless set of digital ears.
Now, let's talk about the listener, because if you use any big streaming service, you've experienced this firsthand.
Absolutely. This is the most common way people interact with music AI.
These services use AI to track every song you play, or skip, or save. And they analyze its characteristics, genre, tempo, mood.
And they use all that data to build those personalized daily playlists that just seem to know what you want to hear.
It's amazing how accurate they often are. Sometimes they know what I want to hear before I do.
That algorithm is basically your digital librarian. And think about how many songs are uploaded every single day.
Millions.
It would be impossible for a human to sort through it all. This is also incredibly valuable for independent artists because the algorithm helps their music find an audience that's statistically likely to enjoy it.
And now it's getting even more interesting for performers because AI is showing up on stage. In live performances. I've seen examples where the system listens to a human musician and then improvises its own notes or beats in real time like a digital duet.
This is a major leap in interactive music. Because the AI is reacting in real time to the performer, every single show becomes unique.
So if the guitarist gets more energetic,
the AI might introduce a complex drum fill. Or if the singer holds a note longer than usual, the AI can shift the harmony underneath them. It's truly interactive.
And it's not just audio, is it? AI is getting involved in the visuals of the show, too.
That's right. Modern shows often have sensors on the instruments that feed live data to a computer. The software then controls the stage lighting and visual effects based on the music's energy.
So a high note could trigger a flash of light.
Exactly. Or if the tempo slows down, the visuals might shift to darker, calmer colors. It makes the whole experience much more immersive.
But with all this amazing technology, we're running into some serious ethical challenges.
Yeah.
The biggest one seems to be around copyright and ownership.
This is a massive legal and philosophical problem. If a computer creates a beautiful, original melody, who owns it? Is it the programmer? The user who clicked the button?
Our laws weren't written for this.
Not at all. They're struggling to keep up. And famous artists are worried that AI will use their voices, their unique styles, without permission.
So how do we address that?
Well, it requires transparency. The solution really involves tracking exactly which data was used to train an AI model.
So you know if it was trained on one specific artist.
Precisely. We need to update our laws to protect creative work from this kind of digital imitation, and it's a conversation that's happening right now.
Which brings us to the big fear that always comes up. Will AI replace human musicians entirely?
I think most experts believe the answer is a definitive no.
Really?
Yeah. While AI is fantastic at following rules and structure, the math of it all, it completely lacks human experience. It hasn't felt sadness or joy or adventure. It doesn't have a story to tell.
And that's what gives music its power.
That's what gives it its heart. The partnership is key. AI handles the mechanics, the human provides the meaning.
So AI is a tool.
It's an incredibly powerful tool for the repetitive parts of production. It lets the human artist focus on the big ideas and the emotional core. The future is a blend of human soul and digital precision.
And finally, AI is also changing how people learn music, which is great news for students.
It is. Students can use AI apps that listen to them practice, almost like a very patient instructor.
Giving them instant feedback.
Instant feedback on accuracy, pointing out wrong notes. And maybe the most helpful feature is that these tools can slow down difficult music without changing the pitch.
Oh, that's a game changer for practicing.
It lets you learn a complex section at your own pace. It really acts like a private, always available tutor. The result of all this is that professional music production is now cheaper, faster, and way more accessible.
But it's important to remember that the technology is ultimately a tool that enhances creativity, not a force that destroys it. The human element, that unique soul and the story behind the music, that's what gives it its heart.
Definitely.
And here's something to think about. If every song you hear is AI optimized for your known preferences, are we losing the sense of musical surprise? The joy of accidentally discovering something you never knew you loved?
Good luck with your studies.
Yeah.
Next time.